Welcome once again, minions. We were doing stuff. Now I gotta show you how to use magic, minions.
Magic works differently to melee and ranged. You cast spells to inflict damage.
No. Really?
Normally, magic spells require runes to cast, much like ranged ammunition. Some weapons, such as that wand, reduce or remove the need for runes.
Sweet.
You can cast magic spells without a wand or staff, but your spells will be dramatically more effective when you do use one.
Yeah, but then you usually have to use a certain
Magic relies greatly on binding your opponent to keep
for
them at
it
a
to
distance.
work really good.
A magic user will cast air, water, earth, and fire spells. Here's a refresher of what we've just learnt. I'm going to call out combat disciplines, and the adventurer will switch weapons to demonstrate each one. Let's start by attacking the dummy with melee. Good work. Ranged. Magic.
Yet I don't use the wand.
Excellent.
Oh, and I had to attack
Now,
twice
let's hope
with
our
magic.
students have learned what
Because
weaponry
magic's
is
just
available
that
to them.
special. Dang it. Legend rank.
Like everything in life, combat has a natural cycle.
Okay.
In the previous session, we introduced the 3 combat disciplines. These interact with each other in an important pattern.
Pattern?
Here are 3 skeletons, each representing one of 3 combat disciplines. Listen carefully as I explain the relationship each discipline has to the others.
This was the only one I did bad on.
Melee attacks are most effective against
I grabbed
ranged
the
armor.
wrong stuff.
However, they're ineffective against magic armor. Ranged attacks are most effective against magic armor,
Okay.
but they're ineffective against melee armor. Lastly, magic attacks are most effective against melee armor. However, they are ineffective against ranged armor.
Yep, because you can't do anything against leather.
That is what is known in the trade as the combat triangle. It may seem like a lot to take in, but just remember. Melee has the edge against ranged. Range gets the better of magic. And magic is powerful against melee. If you remember these simple rules, you can better prepare yourself for fighting different opponents.
Yeah, but why would you carry all of those at the same
We
time?
will now demonstrate how quickly an experienced combatant can react to the combat triangle. My friend here will now attack one of the skeletons. Equip yourself, adventurer. Let's start by attacking the melee skeleton.
Okay, I'm gonna do it this time.
Excellent.
Yep,
Now attack the ranged skeleton.
that's melee.
Excellent.
Yay.
Now attack the magic skeleton.
Boom. Wow. Finally.
Great. This was a prime example of how to best manipulate the
Yeah.
combat triangle. Learn it. It will...
Legend rank. I got a hero rank on my other account for that.
For this session, we will be identifying and exploiting our opponent's weaknesses. First, you need to understand that different weapons inflict different kinds of damage. There are 3 types of damage you can deal with melee weapons.
Okay.
Weapons such as daggers, spears, and short
She has
swords
a dragon
have
dagger
stabbing
right
points.
there.
Long swords, battle axe, and scimitars have slashing blades.
Slashing blades.
Finally, maces, warhammers, and mauls have crushing heads.
She likes that
Now,
part.
let's further inspect a typical melee weapon. The blade or head of the weapon dictates whether it is suited to stabbing, slashing, or crushing.
Okay. So, wheel that. Well, examine curved sword. Oh. Let's continue.
Now we shall cover
Okay, there's her
ranged
voice.
weaponry. The damage you cause will depend on the ammunition you use. Short bows and shield bows use arrows.
Shield bows.
Pistol crossbows and heavy crossbows use bolts. Thrown
What happened
weapons
to
are a damage
longbows?
type in themselves. Now, let's look at a typical ranged weapon. Arrows, bolts, and thrown projectiles each cause damage in different ways.
Let's continue.
Finally,
I
the
didn't even
different
have to do
kinds of
anything.
spells. Air spells.
Air spells.
Water spells.
Water spells.
Earth spells.
Earth spells.
Fire spells.
Fire spells.
Your spellbook will tell you which element a spell belongs to. Air, water, earth, or fire.
Okay. Yes, we should move
At
on.
first glance, you may not notice what your opponent is vulnerable to. You will need to inspect your enemy carefully. Let's look at how...
Okay, that's off by like a lot.
When you know what you're looking for, you can read your opponent like a book.
Weakness is slash.
In this case, we can identify that our opponent is ill-equipped for defending against melee, with a specific weakness towards slashing weapons.
Let's continue.
An opponent who has a specific weakness to stabbing, slashing, or crushing weapons will be almost as weak to melee weapons, in general. Likewise, having a strong weakness to arrows or bolts or throwing weapons makes your opponent broadly poor against ranged weapons.
Okay.
And of course, a specific weakness to air, water, earth, or fire will also indicate a general weakness to all magic spells. Exploiting the specific weakness can give you an upper hand, but failing that, you should use one of the other damage types in the same combat discipline. In your travels, you should expect to meet formidable opponents that do not show a weakness. Then, any combat discipline will be equally effective. Now, let's demonstrate how to exploit the weakness your enemy shows.
Okay.
Inspect the dummy and attack it appropriately.
Examine. Weakness against slashing. That's slashing. So, boom.
Excellent. Try another. Understand your opponent before you rush into a fight. Adventurer, show the students how to analyze their opponent. Understand your opponent before you rush into a fight. Understand your opponent understand your opponent
okay,
before
examine.
you rush into a fight.
I did it. Okay? I did it. I gotta stop it. Thanks for watching. Watch the next episode if you want to keep on watching the series, because you're gonna be watching the next episode, which is in the series. Bye.